You likely know that personalization in marketing is helping many known brands and maybe your competitors to improve customer experience, increase customer retention, and increase revenue. But the majority of marketers don't really know what personalization can do for them, or even some of the challenges others have faced. Knowing this can help you build effective marketing strategies that connect with customers and help them take action. Hey, this is Josias. So I have found a survey summary that partially highlights some of the key challenges, benefits, trends, and more related to personalization in marketing. I'm going to share my screen with you in just a moment to share this survey with you, but I'm going to explain what the numbers really mean. Because the best way to understand this information so that you can use it in your marketing is through the right context. Without the right context, these numbers are just good numbers, but the information is practically unuseful. So let's make it useful. Stick with me. The survey is called Trends in Marketing Personalization. And just to give you some context, they surveyed 355 marketing decision makers. Most of them are in B2C marketing, so that's 47%. Also, the vast majority of them are companies with just under 50 employees, and the majority of them have some kind of decision-making power in the organization. So let's start with the first question. How successful is your personalization strategy at helping you achieve strategic goals? We see here that 22% of them find themselves very successful, followed by 73% of them that find themselves somewhat successful, and then just 5% of them unsuccessful. The reason why this is interesting is because, in my opinion, this number here should be bigger, more than 5%. And the reason why is the following. Many companies, when they embrace somehow personalization, video personalization, text personalization, interactions, and a lot more, they don't have specific business goals they can track, they can measure in relation to their marketing personalization goals and strategies. They're going after the wow factor, which is okay, but it's not always sustainable. Because in the end, your audience is expecting more than just the wow factor. What happens now is that marketing is a conversation where commonly the customer starts and the brands continue. Okay, and we'll talk more about that and about how important the context is in a moment. So yes, customers want that wow factor to keep them excited, but actually what they really want is a deeper relationship with your brand, because you are helping them at achieving particular goals, answering concerns. The only way to do that is first by creating experiences that make sense from the customer's perspective or your audience in general perspective, and second by tracking every interaction, every personalized interaction in relation to specific business goals and in relation to specific metrics. And this is something many organizations don't do. However, if we go back to this here number of employees, something that also happens is that experienced people within smaller companies tend to measure everything a lot more than established organizations. Established organizations are usually going after the wow factor because it is more about keeping their audience somehow excited. And smaller companies, as you'll see also in just a moment, they usually focus on retention. If they're focusing on retention, they're tracking interactions that help them retain customers, that help them extend the customer lifetime value, even increase revenue. But in my opinion, these numbers should be bigger. The second question here is, what are the greatest benefits of a successful personalization strategy? And I'm going to do the following. I'm going to read what the report says here, and then I'm going to explain what these numbers here really mean, because it is not exactly the way it is shown here, at least based on my experience, and I'll explain why in a moment. When executed effectively, improving the customer experience is the most commonly realized benefit of personalization according to the marketers this year. This is comparing year 22 with year 23. And it is important to take into account that year 22 comes after year 21, and that many of these companies are getting better, let's say, from the COVID situation. This is a change from last year's respondents who ranked increasing customer retention as the #1 benefit. This year, we see more marketers reporting revenue increases and fewer marketers reporting increased brand awareness. What we have here is that the #1 benefit realized by these marketers is improved customer experience. 43% back in 2022 to 51% in 2023. And there is something interesting here because the percentage of increased revenue in comparison to the percentage of increased customer retention is quite obvious. Okay, so increased revenue here went from 41% back in 2022 to 50% in 2023. But compared to increased customer retention, which in 2022 was 49% and in 2023 is 50%, I mean, either they are increasing revenue thanks to lifetime value, so their strategies were already in place even way before 2022, okay, and now they are seeing the results of a sustained strategy that potentially have been getting better, or this is revenue that comes from new business. So personalization as part of lead generation strategies, as part of maybe even cold outreach strategies. Something that I also find interesting here is that the increased engagement went up from 43% in 2022 down to 38% in 2023. Let me give you some context that is not here in the report. 76% of people hate irrelevant communications. And because they hate irrelevant communications that do not resonate with their particular needs, concerns, requirements, they ignore many of these messages. This is one of the reasons why more and more companies are embracing video content, because we all pay attention to video, but also with data-driven content, personalization in video, because these videos resonate with the particular needs of the individuals they are targeting on a one-to-one basis and using technology like our software Personal in a scalable way. Because at Personal, we talk to many decision makers from companies we all know, from agencies, maybe companies like yours and your competitors. We have loads of first-hand information regarding what are the key priorities, benefits, and strategies that are working and not for these marketing decision makers across different markets. The #1 reason why many of these organizations embrace video personalization, one of the key reasons why they also embrace personalized marketing in general, is related to customer engagement. They want to see customer engagement increase because the majority of their messages are irrelevant. And to make these messages relevant, they use video content because, again, we all pay attention to video content, and they use personalization with these videos so that every video is highly tailored and effective and relevant through their customer's context. Increased engagement comes after successful experiences. When you have many interactions that are relevant, that are successful through your eyes of your customers or your audience, your leads, your prospects, then you increase engagement. Increased engagement translates into increased retention, and increased retention also translates into increased revenue. And this revenue can come from two different sources. #1, your existing customers. Since you have increased engagement because you have improved experience, customers stay longer. And the second one is from new business. First, new business from your existing customers through referrals because they speak wonders about your brand, and second, because overall your marketing messages and your strategies are way more effective. And the reason why they are more effective is because they are targeted. They are tailored to your audience needs on a one-to-one way and potentially at scale. At a glance, this is hard to see unless you have a specific business goals and specific KPIs, because then your personalization strategy is there to help you achieve those specific goals. So a question we all should ask ourselves is, why is that we need and why is that we want to improve customer experience? Because if the only reason why is because of the wow factor, it is important. It needs to be there. Your audience is expecting it because 76% of them hate irrelevant interactions. But personalization in marketing is not set and done. It's a process that requires optimization, and that optimization will help you increase engagement. And through the lens of engagement, you improve retention, revenue, conversion rates. Something else I found interesting about this is increased brand awareness. It went up from 36% in 2022 down to 26% in 2023. And this is interesting because it is a word of caution, and here is why. A recent report states that especially younger generations, they do value brands, but their experience with this brand is becoming more important. What this really means is that they are willing to try and to stay and to be loyal if their customer experience is great across the journey. That's the engagement part. But the word of caution here is that these marketers don't see this as a key benefit, which could also mean that their personalization mindset, or the reason why they are embracing personalization in marketing, is either because it's just trendy. Many organizations are doing this because it delivers great results, or they are just starting. So they don't have enough track record to say if personalization is helping them increase brand awareness. At the same time, if we go back to the numbers here in terms of the number of employees in these organizations, the majority of them are organizations with just fewer than 50 employees, and just 14% of them have more than 500 employees. Usually larger organizations, and even big numbers way bigger than this, are more worried about brand awareness. They're more strategic about it, and they have people actually focused on brand awareness. This doesn't happen in smaller organizations. Now let's go over the third area of this survey. I have access to all the data required to improve marketing personalization. Only 25% of marketers surveyed feel strongly that they have access to all the data required to improve marketing personalization. Another 49% somewhat agree with this sentiment, leaving just over 26% who disagree to some extent. Data silos and reduced access to the customer data needed to improve personalization can be a major issue to find success. The majority of companies have access to a lot more information than what they initially think. There are different types of information. Zero-party data, which is the data that your customer, freely and directly gives you. First-party data, which is the data you directly gather. And then there is third-party data, which is data provided by a platform like Facebook, YouTube. For example, in video personalization, the majority of companies use the customer's first name to automatically create a video. A personalized video is a data-driven video that shows either customer data, the customer's context, and more in a particular video that is specifically for that individual. And they use software like ours, Personal, to create those videos at scale. This way, they leverage the type of content that we all love with the customer's context, so that these videos are a lot more effective. As a result, they catch their customers' attention, they keep them engaged, and they help them take action. Almost every company, perhaps yours as well, have access to the customer's first name, a customer's or a lead email, but they also have access to other type of information that is not always structured in their CRM, spreadsheets, marketing automation tools, and this is your audience context. And this information is gold. It can help you create extremely successful messages because your audience pays attention to their individual context. Let me give you an example. Let's say you lead marketing for a resort. Chances are that the profile of people that go to the hotel during weekdays is totally different when compared to the people that go during the weekends. Something similar happens if we compare couples with people that travel by themselves. Something similar happens if we compare two individuals that go to a hotel for a business trip compared to a couple that is maybe celebrating their anniversary. And again, if you take into account a family of 5 that go to a hotel during the weekend, their budget, experience, expectations will be totally different when compared to another family of 5 that does the same during the weekdays. Often you'll find that this information is not structured in a way that is useful in your marketing personalization initiatives. What all this means is that the majority of organizations have access to a lot more information they are not using because they haven't thought creatively about it. A key takeaway for you here is to gather and structure this information in your CRM, marketing automation tool, email marketing software, so that then you can use it in your personalized messages and interactions to increase the effectiveness of your messages, improve the customer experience, and then improve customer engagement. This is why one thing is what people think about the data they have access to, but something different is the reality. They do have access to more information, but they haven't structured this information in a way they can use it to personalize their marketing. Let's cover the fourth aspect of this survey. What are the most significant challenges to executing a successful personalization strategy? Budget and resources required to execute personalization successfully is reportedly the greatest challenge that marketers are facing this year. This is a slightly variation from last year's respondents who felt that managing customer expectations was their most significant challenge. Managing budget and customer expectations have been ranked as the top challenges 2 years in a row. What happens here is that we see that budget or resources to execute is the number one challenge these organizations face in year 2023, with 43% of them. And then the second one here, and then I'll explain what this really means, is managing customer expectations, which went up from 39% in year 2022 down to 37% in year 2023. The third one is it's also important, creating, delivering relevant content. 31% in year 2022 and a little bit more as a challenge, let's say, in year 2023, which is with 32%. What we see here, again, after speaking with hundreds of marketing decision makers, is the following. Budget is usually not a concern, not anymore. That was a concern maybe 5 or 10 years ago, when the main tools that did back then some kind of personalization were only available to major corporations through, expensive software out there in the market. Also based on the size of their audience. Okay, so budget was there, they have a wider audience, they have more demanding needs, and that's perfectly fine. However, nowadays, most of the marketing tools, email marketing tools that are out there, allow some kind of personalization. The technical resources are there, are available. However, the strategy and the experienced people to execute in a successful way this project is not there. And the reason being is that the majority of marketers from both brands and agencies do not have real experience with personalization in marketing. This doesn't mean that they don't have experience as great marketers. It just means that they don't have enough experience with personalization to create a successful strategy. In my experience working with them, budget is not a real concern. It's more about we don't know what to do. We just know that we want some kind of personalization, especially at the beginning. Technology is not a blocker either. There's a wide range of tools out there. For example, at Personal, we make video personalization available to pretty much any company out there. Back in the days, it was about who has the budget to do video personalization. Banks, insurance companies. Nowadays, thanks to software as a service and scalability, it is available to pretty much every company. So budget and resources is not always the main reason. It has to do with the experience of these companies. Regarding managing your audience expectations here, the reality is that for personalization to be sustained and effective across the customer journey, it needs to get better. For example, reports show that emails with "Hello John" are still effective, but they are less effective because people got used to them. However, many marketers think that that's it. That's personalization, check. Therefore, their audiences get tired of these messages and they stop paying attention to them. So to stay relevant to that 76% of people of your audience that hate irrelevant communications, you need to go the extra mile. And this is creating messages that truly resonates with your target's audience needs, concerns, goals, requirements, their context. They already know their name. Reading their name in an email, for example, will help them pay more attention, but contextualizing the content of the email will help you create messages that are highly relevant and then way more effective. Also, choosing the right type of content that meets your audience expectations. For example, video content. The vast majority of marketers are already finding success when using video in marketing and sales. However, the majority of the videos companies create are one-fits-all videos. For example, an insurance company that uses Personal or personalized video software to engage with customers in renewal processes recently reported an increase in sales. And one of the key reasons for this is because every video and their emails are highly relevant to their audience on a one-to-one basis, and they use technology to scale this process. Lastly, about this, let me cover the buy-in from leadership. Just 13%. In general, marketing leaders do want personalization in their marketing for all the reasons we mentioned earlier. However, what they need to see is specific business goals with specific KPIs and specific metrics. If it is a one-time campaign, maybe you don't have this information yet. But if you have been running personalization across different initiatives, you should have this information already. And this is why tracking customer through the entire journey is important, which is why you need the right tools to track this information. With this information and optimization processes in place, you'll be able to have a solid business case to share with your leadership. At the same time, remember that for many of them, maybe that's your case as well, many of these decision maker leaders don't have experience with personalization. So at a glance, they'll think about the wow factor, which is okay, but it is not enough if you want a sustainable strategy. And the way to have a sustainable strategy is by optimizing your strategy. This is why, for example, in video personalization projects, we recommend between 3 and 6 months of optimization, because that's when you'll have enough information about what to improve and how. For example, we walk either monthly or quarterly with our clients to help them understand what are the key things that they need to improve and why and how, and what are the specific steps they need to take to make that happen. And then, since we do that either monthly or quarterly, we're able to see progress or even what went wrong, so that then we can help them fix it. And this happens or gets way easier when you have specific business goals and specific KPIs with the specific metrics, because then you'll know what to optimize. Lastly, adhering to compliance data privacy regulations. Whenever it's possible, work with partners that hold security and data protection certification. For example, at Personal, we are ISO 27001 certified, which is the #1 certification in terms of data protection and security in the world. What this means is that all of our processes are established. We have security protocols in place to protect our clients, their audiences, and our company, which gives our clients peace of mind, knowing that we are actively paying attention to these really important things. Fifth point here, most utilized data. Interactions with customer service, opening a support ticket, searching a knowledge base, etc., as well as email activity, opens, clicks, etc., are the most commonly utilized data by marketers when it comes to personalizing their customer or customer experience, according to 46% of those surveyed. Known interest of an individual also appears as top of this list. And this is referring to part of the context based on the user's behavior, which is great. But it's not talking that much about the data you have access to, your CRM, marketing automation tool, even a spreadsheet or email tool, which is interesting to know because it gives you an opportunity. Leverage the data you have access to, the customer data you have access to, zero-party data, first-party data, and third-party data. Use this information through the lens of your audience context. Then we'll be talking about individualization, and your messages will be way more effective, because they'll be relevant to your audience needs, concerns, requirements, their context in general. Now let's cover the following. Where in the digital experience is it most impactful to use personalization? Most of them say email, and that's still the norm. The majority of companies interact with their audiences through email. It's a really cost-effective channel. We also see SMS marketing here growing. It's not as saturated as it used to be because many organizations have shifted to email, to WhatsApp. And then something that catches my attention here is landing pages. It went up from 29% down to 15% in 2023. And the reason why I believe this change is important is because of what we have seen in previous pages of this report. Many companies are using some behavioral information, but not data and not the user's real context and what the data means to interact with these customers or their audiences, their leads, even their prospects, and create messages that are highly relevant. They are not doing that. Therefore, the landing pages are not that impactful. In order to make landing pages that are impactful and that have real results from a marketing perspective, from a conversions perspective, you need to create these landing pages, the content of these landing pages, based on your target audience context. If you are able to do that on a one-to-one basis and at scale, you'll have a conversions machine in place. This is why, for example, at Personal, we automatically create personalized landing pages for every single video so that every landing page is more effective, because people pay more attention and then they take action. And if you use personalization with real data there based on their context, then you'll be able to increase the performance of these landing pages. For example, personalized calls to action are about 200% more effective when compared to generic calls to actions. This is one of the reasons why many and more organizations also add personalized calls to action, at least with our video player, Personal Player, in the personalized videos. Because you already grabbed your customer's attention and you want that person to take action, which is to click, to download. And the last point about this report is the role of technology. Our marketing technology stack allows our organization to execute effective personalized experiences. And the majority agree, which is kind of funny when we go over some of the challenges we mentioned earlier, because the technology is available, it's out there in the market. For example, many of the companies we work with do not have experience with either personalization and or personalized video marketing. This is why we don't just provide a scalable, flexible platform, even if it is self-service, but we also provide hands-on service to help them succeed with their video personalization initiatives. We help them execute faster, and through expert advice from our team to their team, they are able to implement some of the strategies they are using in their video personalization initiatives to other type of personalization in marketing. And the reason why we do this is because many marketers out there, even agencies, do not have enough or experience at all with personalized video marketing. So we walk with them to help them succeed. This is it for now. The key takeaways here is that personalization in marketing can help you improve customer engagement because you are delivering better experiences, but also it can help you increase revenue, retention, sales, and it can help your brand be more relevant. Nowadays, personalization is available to any marketer out there. There are plenty of tools, perhaps the tools you already use, that would help you personalize your marketing. Don't focus only on the behavior. Use the data you have access to and improve that data based on your audience context. Remember, 76% of your customers hate irrelevant interactions. Make your messages, your interactions, the experience in general, more engaging by tailoring it to every individual, by embracing personalization in marketing. I hope you found this video helpful. If you have any questions, simply ask, use the comments below. Also, do not forget to like this video. This will help other marketers like you know more about personalized marketing. And do not forget to subscribe to this channel now. Take care, have a great day. See you later. Bye.